Namaste, everyone. Namaste. So the plan is we start with guided meditation, self-inquiry meditation, okay? And then we'll see what happens. So close your eyes. It's good to close your eyes, but you don't have to. It's just there might be less pictures for the mind interpretation. That's why we are closing them, actually. To withdraw the energy inward, not to focus so much on what is outside. And then if you are familiar with the self, with yourself, it really doesn't matter if you have your eyes open and closed, but I recommend at the beginning, just close your eyes. Meditation is a living self-inquiry. It's a live, living self-inquiry until it's not necessary anymore. So if you feel like you can abide as your source at the moment already, that you can rest as the peace right now, just simply notice. It is here already. And stay with your focus and your beingness there. It doesn't need time. Sometimes it just needs a reminder or a pointer. So, if you feel yourself in natural state right now, do nothing. Simply be and do nothing. But if you find yourself in anxiety, in restlessness, or you find your mind is actually quite disturbing, follow the pointings. Following the pointings, it's not listening of what I have to say here. Every word which is given right now is for you to investigate, is for you to check and see. And the purpose is only one. It's not a deepening, it's not going further. It's just abiding as the self. Not focusing so much on the energy outside. What does it mean? Not following the mind. Not following that much with the interest, the objects which are happening. If you find yourself entertained in this, distance yourself from witnessing the mind. If the witness is involved, this is still mind energy. Just refuse yourself. Refuse this interest of outside world for a while. And just be. When I'm saying just be, it doesn't mean be a special way. You don't have to. It simply means don't follow the conversation in your brain. something which calls for your attention, it's really not important. Listen from where you listen. Be from where you are, and you are. It's not like we will do something new about it. In a way, it's like leaving the control right now. Because our attention, watching the mind, is control. It's perpetuating a new objects of imagination. It might be still happening, it's not a problem. The mind might be active right now, it's not a problem. But don't give it any meaning. It has no meaning. None of its story right now is important. The importance of the stories of your own mind you practice almost all the time during your life. Non-stop you do it. So now our meeting is to leave this interest and to rest in something which is more simpler and more restful, more peaceful and more natural to you. I'm not speaking of something which is far from you. I'm not speaking about something which is even 1 inch from you. I'm directly pointing right now to the space from where hearing is happening at the moment. You don't have to imagine this place. Can you hear me? You obviously do. From where? From here. Is it a special place from where? Is it far? No, it's naturally here. So be conscious by being conscious of this here-ness. Not being specially conscious. Speciality here is the mind. Imagination here is the mind. You don't need this for support. So if you find yourself right now using effort to understand me, to understand what am I pointing, this is a subtle mind energy, which is fine. But we are really not speaking about that. This subtle energy is like a breath, which might be present. But I'm speaking about something in where breath and everything else happens right now. So it might be 2 different listening present at the moment here in this room, at this very moment of life. One, it's a movement. It's going from one word to the other word, from my voice to your voice in your head. Understanding, not understanding, referring, relating, going back to memory, imagining the future. So this is one part of listening, and it is mind-based, memory-related. And the deeper listening at this moment doesn't put effort into listening. It just listens. And I want you to synchronize yourself with that, with this effortlessness, with this simplicity, with this no resistance, with this openness without one being open. There is nothing in the world or in the universe which is simpler than that. Because it's even simpler than speaking and expressing what I'm expressing. Intune yourself into no step, because none of this step is needed. Intune yourself with no word, because none of the word is needed for support of that what I'm speaking about. Because right now the sound is happening. The sound of this voice, the vibration of this voice is happening only thanks to this deeper listening from where it springs from, like everything else in this world. So most of our life we are busy with the movement, with the sounds. With the shadow, with the expression. But now the point is, and your biggest lack in your life, to go different direction and to see directly in your intelligence, in your beingness, from where all of it springs from, and who are you really? What are your real qualities? What is your truth? What is the truth without you? Notice once again that this voice, this vibration, this sound is listened in something which already is. And this is not only interpretation, because interpretation is also a movement, subtle movement in consciousness. Why? Because you perceive it. Because you can perceive your understanding or misunderstanding, or being lost, or being sleepy, whatever. So what can we do, or what could we do to confirm this simplicity? You can confirm it right now with your mind. You can confirm, yes, I get that, I understand that, I know what you're pointing. And it might be true, and this is true. But the real confirmation is without the sound, is without your assumption. So follow this. Follow that what is always prior to whatever can be said, expressed, understood, felt. Because there is nothing simpler than this. So one way, one step is to understand that, what we are speaking about right now, also experientially and knowingly, intuitively. And the next step is to abide as that. Why? Because mind is super quick. And it will entertain itself, will try to entertain itself with another object, or with next. And even though you might know what you know, it's not enough in your peace. So stay a little longer in resonance, in tune in yourself, until the mind, which is anxiety, which is restlessness, slows down. It is very important. Until this is less and less and less entertaining for you. It has less and less values for you. Less and less meaning. Less and less belief. Not by gaining a new belief, but holding nothing, knowing nothing, having nothing. Pure openness, without the concept of openness. Not knowing, which is not intellectual, but is you. It's like we always almost want to follow something secondary in our life. Our desires, our projections, our interpretations, our knowing. And this is really secondary to you. It's like following the death, chasing death, chasing nothing, perpetuating nothing. And now you're really lucky for a moment to see the source of it all by yourself, by your self-inquiry, not based on belief, so check in. Check where the peace is. there might be a wave of the mind in those moments which will be denying this what is heard right now. It's normal. But it's another buying of some mental interpretation. Refuse yourself for a bit. Because when you buy your thoughts, you are creating the world. You are creating your next minute, your next 5 minutes. Cut it off. Rest from that. Give yourself the biggest luxury of being nobody. Get rid of yourself and rest. Not knowing anything at all. Knowing is avoidance. Knowing is escaping. Knowing is projection, always, no matter what kind of knowing it is. Does your body needs to know how to breathe? When to take inhalation and exhalation, and for how long? Is it safe or not? It just does it by itself. It's quite safe. So let us, for now, lose the control grip. So do not want to know what's gonna be said or what will happen in next minute. Forget it. There is just this moment. The next one is just a mind projection or waiting, which is also avoidance. Do not wait. Do not waste yourself. Waiting is wasting your life. See what's already here. Notice this effortlessness. Notice this simplicity and beauty. So even though the waves of the mind might be present at the moment, it's completely fine. Just don't buy it's important. Important is you, not as the one listening, because the one listening is listened by deeper listening. So instead of chasing the shadow again and again, direct to the source. And see the difference. See the difference in your resting. See the difference in the clarity. See the difference in freedom. You are gaining nothing, but something feels more transparent and free. If you find yourself resisting in the moment a lot, or the body energy is resisting into some dumbness, it happens sometimes. Don't buy it. Don't buy the cloud. Listen from the source. Don't follow the cloud of the heaviness, of tiredness, of anxiety, of memory even. Memory is avoidance. Forget everything you know. Forget everything you heard also in this matter. It's not needed. It will not allow you to hear if you will remember, if you will be in remembering something. So notice in the place of communication, there is a movement. Something is happening. The screen might be entertaining. But in this deep place of yourself, if you abide there, if you bring your focus there, is it really so much happening in there? Check this one. How busy is there? How much work? How many problems? Zero. None. Just do not listen to your mind, and this is over. Do not listen to secondary. Direct yourself into the priorness. Before the mind. And this before is not a concept. Before is before your interpretation and my word. This word happens only for you to direct yourself into before. I have nothing to say apart from that. Discovering this is called enlightenment. Self-realization. Not for the one, but from the one. Not for you, but from you. Not gaining, but losing. And being free. Even if you feel yourself imagining those things, you are entertaining your mind. You are not following what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say to ignore this. To ignore the movement of the mind, like it is less important as that what is, without the concept of what does it mean even. Give yourself this luxury and the biggest gift possible. Don't follow and don't buy your tiredness. Don't follow and don't buy your problem. Being there, not being there, getting, not getting, it is just a mind interpretation, nothing else. From where you hear it, this is important. Where did this came from? Where does it disappear? In those moments, very often mind starts being very busy. Do not buy it. It's okay. But you don't buy it. When you don't buy those projections and those truths, mind by itself is slowing down or is just disappearing because of the presence. Because of the source. Shadows have no value when you know who you really are. Give yourself this biggest gift of remembering, not memorizing, but remembering by being present right now. A life self-inquiry, which is freedom, which is happiness. Peace from the mind. Where there is no me and you. Where there is no higher, lower. Where objects are objects and you are prior to them, all of them. And once again noticed that we are not really speaking about something. This conversation or this dialogue or this monologue has no meaning if it is about something. It is from something, beyond something. From things into no thing. And notice how simple is that. Just as not buying your own thoughts. So as I started, satsang is actually only for that purpose, for us to recognize who we are and being consciously, knowingly who we are. Not memorizing it, not knowing it, but living it. So it's our natural state. It needs no effort. But if you feel, until you feel it's not yet completely familiar, if you feel you are separate from it, if you feel you're step ahead from it, sometimes for this reason we also use dialogues. We use questions and answers. But to be clear, the only purpose of satsang and the only purpose of this meeting is to get us to know who we are, not to give us answer how to live or find some other things. It's just to know what we are really, to recognize the source and to live it. So you can open your eyes. You can open your eyes. And we can continue. And you know what also? Recently I'm saying this more and more, because the mind very often gets us into sleeping mode. I'm not meaning sleeping that you have to fall asleep, but I mean I know it, so I don't need more. I don't know it, so I will sit silent. This meeting is life opportunity. It's our opportunity to be completely clear about it. To be completely clear about it. And it's only up to you if you feel like, or if you are ready to be open that way. So, if anybody would like to share, welcome. How is that? This meditation was okay? Okay. Is it clearing or is it making you confused? Is it helpful into the clarity, or it's making you more confused about those things? If it makes you more confused, then we can talk about it. Or if you have any questions around it. Because as I said, I really don't know where to start even, and I have really nothing to say. The only thing where my energy goes, you want? No. Is just to go to this simple recognition and abiding in the recognition. I don't call it even a spiritual knowledge, because it's not spiritual. It's just knowledge. Can you take the mic? The mic doesn't give the sound, but it needs for the recording. Yeah. Hello.
Hi, Nitya.
Good to see you.
And good to see you.
Yes.
So for me, the meditation was very helpful. Yeah. So what comes up is that I feel this resting, like just relaxing, resting, even though I can feel a lot of tension still in my body, but I don't give it any story, any importance. I don't know why it's there, but it's just comes and go.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Mm-hmm.
And I see the mind, I see how it plays out, I see, So what comes up for me is that I still feel like I'm almost sometimes one with the mind. So it's like there comes like a confusion sometimes, like was I actually in a thought or not?
At the moment, the meditation, you mean?
Yeah, also
Mhm.
there, yeah.
Okay. So you said that it's bringing you some rest, you know? The meditation is bringing you some rest. You still notice the mind activity in this, yeah?
It was very quiet and silent, the mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed still that it came up a little bit. And then afterward, there comes a doubt. And that's also a thought.
But it's how beautiful you said that.
Because
How
it comes-
beautiful she said that. She said, and after that there came the mind, the doubt.
Yeah.
So it came.
Yes.
It came. The doubt came. So the doubt came, and then it came. And after that, this came. To whom it came? Are you that what came? Can you actually rely on something which came? Can we rely on anything which came? It's nothing. This doubt? It's nothing. I mean, it came, so it's nothing. Only you can make it something. You can make it something which won't be true. It will be nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It came. This is signpost straight away for you. It came. I'm here. It came. It comes. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Doubt. You don't know it. What's happening? It came. But a second before, it was not here. It was peace. It was quiet. All is good. And then it came. So, what is truth in this? We can say the truth is this, maybe there is truth in doubt. So let's investigate that. If it came, it means it's not something which is stable. It's just a thought. And this thought might be very powerful. You might be frightened by this thought. I think I really don't know it again. But if you see this as something which came, it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's really nothing. So what can I be something which came? Can I be something which came? Can I rely on this? I would not rely on anything which came. I would not rely on anything in this universe which came. Because this is the shadow, this is the secondary reality. Why are we buying this? It's nothing. So, what to do then? In satsang, the most important thing is just discriminating from things which came and things which are. Something comes, and it's usually expression which is really less important, least important, most of the time from you. It's just not buying something which came. It's not buying secondary. You know, because it might be another thought. Now it was doubt, yeah? Let's say it was doubt. And you could buy yourself, buy this doubt, and you could be, you know, from a happy girl who came for satsang, happy, all is good, and now it's the doubt, and it's like, life is, it's all bad. But it could be differently also. What came? Oh, you're amazing. You know it the best. Amazing. You know it fantastic. You know it so well. And you can, you know, you can shine, you can be shiny, you can be entertaining yourself with your own thought, oh, how enlightened you are. But this, was it with you an hour ago, 2 hours ago, the day before? Is it now? It's another thought. Any thought, anything which came, if we buy, it's a death sentence. It's a suffering sentence.
Yes.
And it's not true.
But that's where I'm always coming back to that thing, what is here? Because the mind can come in with doubt.
What is here? What do you mean by that?
What is actually here? Because then it can turn it around to say, but you cannot even prove what is here in that sense.
Okay, very good. I'm very happy.
You cannot like, because there is nothing to say about it. There is nothing to
say about it, but you, using your words, you are saying it can come and it can say this way and it can say that way. Meanings that you have already distance in yourself in seeing that. So now, a little bit more of courage, ruthlessness, and strength in your own seeing. Because you see it, but you're a little bit like maybe too gentle with what you see.
Yes, because I see clearly that everything that can be seen, of course, it cannot be what I am. But then I'm back at being something, something I cannot talk about, I cannot show, I cannot sense, I cannot nothing. And then I'm back at being nothing. And that is,
Yeah, but this thing which you call nothing, which cannot be said, which cannot be grasped, we cannot say much about it. It's not something we need to have a special relationship to. Because if we create some special relationship to it, it's again power of the mind. Again. This something is already here now. At this moment is happening there. Isn't it? This moment is happening there. Like this. So, what is wrong with this moment this way? For that.
there is nothing wrong.
There is nothing wrong. So what makes it wrong?
It's a longing for seeing it, but it cannot.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yes,
I mean, longing for seeing which happens in seeing.
Maybe longing for having a relationship with it in some sense, but it cannot.
Then a relationship with it is a nonsense.
It's like it's almost like disappointing to say that everything comes out of it, but it cannot be in any other way. So
yeah, this is very subtle mind avoidance.
Yeah.
Very subtle mind rejection and avoidance. Very subtle. I mean, let's make it into something. A little bit. Little bit. So I at least have something from that. But it's not possible. I mean, it will be creation of the mind. You get that it will be always creation.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with creation, but with creation you will suffer. With this kind of creation, you will always suffer. Because it's not based on truth, it's based on separation. I have some relationship with this. I mean, everything is emanation of that, so there is no special relationship in here. Special relationship is definition of duality. Here it comes. Special understanding. You know? It's actually imagination of how could it be, but it is not. How it could be, but it is not. How it could be is always safe. Oh, it's so nice how it could be. I could be there that time. I could feel this. Amazing. This is this postponement of enlightenment. It could be this way. It will be that way. It will be amazing. Fantastic. So this is this projection. This is the mind projection, which is actually creating something all the time to avoid this simplicity, to avoid totality of expression, to avoid this whole room, all these people in this room, and the space and everything. Just to create, this is better, and maybe this is better. So I better create something, not to do nothing, and just take what is, without taking, because we don't even have to take it. It's already taken, but we are blind to see it, that it is taken.
I think I feel also it's connected a little bit with fear, because I sense this immense openness. Like openness is in this just very like openness and vulnerability, and also this not knowing, that there is no way at all to know what comes now, what comes here. It's just totally.
But with this fear, we have to again check it.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit, it's a little bit for me too far to say it this way, Yeah. It's assumption which I don't believe. It's a little bit frightening, okay, we know that, a little bit. But if we are really doing a self-inquiry, satsang is a self-inquiry. Every little second of satsang is self-inquiry. So if the self-inquiry is done, and let's do it at this very moment.
Yes.
So tell me, what's the space has a problem with this? Does the space really have these concerns?
No.
It has non-concern. It doesn't have this concern. So what is frightening in there?
It's only the mind.
It's only the mind. It's only thought which we are following.
And it's just a habit to
It's just a habit to create. It's just avoidance. It's just a running away.
It's
Nothing else.
No. And then it's okay. So that's it.
Yes.
It's
So it's like we are sitting in satsang. We are sitting in satsang, and for some people at the beginning, sitting in satsang is the most terrible things ever. And in the same way, it's most the beautiful ever, because we are sitting here, and the mind is like this. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's make it, and it will be making it all the time. Making. Don't do anything. Making. Please give me something. Please do something. Please. Until something is mature enough to hear Nisargadatta Maharaj pointing and all the saints pointing. Please discriminate right now in this very moment. What is moving and what is not moving? What is coming and what is not coming? That's it. What is coming and what is going, it's always mind. Always. What has something to say, if it's beautiful, if it's sad, if it's amazing, whatever, it will be mind. It's interpretation. But what is not coming and not going? What is? It's not is because it is without any concept of it. And do we need imagination for that?
No.
It's none of the imagination is needed, because imagination is an object inside of what is. So this discrimination inside, this is essence of self-inquiry. And this is a live self-inquiry. So right now, something is coming and going. These words are coming and going. The vibration of this word is coming and going. And something is. And this what is here and this what is here is same is. And it's not only to grasp it with the mind. Aha, yes. It's too little. Yes, and leaving some of your focus there, and let's continue. This is satsang. So we can talk, we can be silent, whatever can be happening inside of it. And some of our focus is there. And this is you. This is real you. This is something which didn't came and doesn't go anywhere. This is your essence. This is your natural state. All else is just blah, blah, blah. Imagination. This is freedom, and this is not freedom. And we can apply it in every little second of our life. And if it's applied, it's freedom. Every time. In every moment. In every circumstances. Isn't that funny that we are afraid of these things which are coming? Isn't that funny? It's such a funny thing. It's really super funny.
It's almost like also a play, you know, something just wants to continue
Something
playing.
loves to continue this play,
Yeah.
but this is what I say, just be a little bit more strict with this.
Yeah.
This tendency. Just be a little bit firm, you know, like don't entertain this child because it's a child energy. Oh, it's nothing. It's really nothing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hmm? Mm-hmm.
Fear and attachments,
Mm-hmm.
including desires,
Yes.
are keeping me away, postponing being in that which is my essence.
Mm-hmm.
I
Are
have
they?
this huge longing, but at the same time, the attachment for mind and for this, all these things.
Okay,
are-
so this attachment to the mind, how does it manifest?
For things, places, relations, ego, like my identity and all these things. Body, fear, for instance.
I get that and I don't get that.
Okay.
I get that and I don't get that.
Like, okay. Sometimes people need a really severe disease to wake up.
Okay.
And
And this is good, and what you have is not good?
the thing is, I really don't want, I want to wake up, but I don't want to need to get such a severe disease.
Okay,
It's
so
like-
help God to make it the way. I mean,
That's the thing, because I keep wanting to put my full attention on doing this discrimination attentively, consciously.
you are doing it in a recent time, yeah? Did you give yourself focus into it?
No, because then I get attached to projects.
To what?
Projects,
Projects.
yes.
You will make this into project?
Well, I should, but I'm doing other projects that takes me away, that keeps postponing this project, which is what I'm longing for in this life. I'm like, if I'm going to die tomorrow, I will just be sad that I didn't, I kept postponing the important one.
Yes.
But
Who can relate to it? Okay, this is the thing. I don't know what to do with you guys, to be honest. In this one, this is I was speaking with Laurent about this, and some time ago I was also talking about it quite a few times. What makes us desperately ready? You know, and that some of us sometimes, like, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of the. We cannot judge this. I mean, I believe that the existence doesn't make mistakes. It doesn't make mistakes. You know, there is some tempo for all expressions to be the way it is. But not to make it too passive, because something hearing this could be very passive about this. So okay, let's see, you know, a little bit of this, little bit of that. I want freedom, but I like also these things. I feel that the only maybe, I'm not sure, actually, the only thing which works actually is for you to see what does it mean and what this actually makes in your experience. You know, because if you touch a little bit of peace, if you touch a little bit of peace, you touch a little bit of understanding of this, and the mind puts a hand on this, so it has a little bit of experience and it has interpretation of it. So this is one thing. And on the other side, there is whole manifestation, which might be also very entertaining for us. But if you really give yourself to fully see, like fully experience the source, not the shadow, then quite possible that you will just fall in love in this. Because really there is nothing greater in this universe. It's like if somebody comes to me and says, look, I have this amazing project. This project is so amazing. I'm just listening to this and I feel like, oh, really? What can you know, really? I mean, this project you will have for 5 seconds. Or it's not even there because it will just die. And how can you compare something which is outcome, temporary outcome, to the totality, to the wholeness? How it's not comparable even. And it's not that you need to use your brain to compare it. It's like how the beingness will tell you. So until we ourselves don't have this like taste of freedom, we will still be like coming and going, you know, because I feel this only make works. You know, you don't have to force yourself to you know, push yourself into some circumstances, you know, because it might be also mind-based. You might feel guilty. Oh, why am I not following freedom? Why this? Why that? It's mind game. This is also mind game. Just satsang is giving yourself a taste of it, and not like this. It's like I feel little bit peace, but what's next? What's next? Give me something next. Give me something, please give me something. I don't want to stay with nothing. And don't listen to this voice. Don't listen to this. Go back to the source. Go back to the source and stay there a little longer. So until this anxiety movement just expires and has no meaning. And then you will find the peace which cannot be compared to anything at all. Nothing can give you this wholeness in the world. Nothing can be even close. Not a love, not a relationship, not a job, not a career, nothing. Not fulfillment in the world. None of it can compare to the source. Why? Why these things are they cannot be compared? because they are a shadow, they are creation from the source. And how the source stays? And everything is from there. So this tiny thing will be comparable to everything? How can it be? This tiny knowing, this tiny satisfaction, or this tiny project can be the source? It can't. So if you don't want to feel guilt and all this play, just focus on giving yourself a taste of freedom. And when this anxiety of the mind takes you away from it, you resist it for a moment. And we have great opportunity now. This weekend we are having 3 days satsang. Only this, nothing else. And from time to time you have these opportunities, and you can take this opportunity. You can give yourself the biggest gift ever possible. Because, and also you are here, it means something is ready for that. Something is ready for that. So it's like, it's a little bit of play. This whole thing it's a funny play. Don't postpone, let us not postpone the freedom. What for? I don't know if it helps or...
It helps.
Yeah.
I have, now you say, to see a little. I'm normally thinking of it as tasting a little. And I have tasted a little within the last 20 years. But then I can do many years of postponing, forgetting, and then suddenly I get this, oh, there it is. Now I remember. I was sleeping for a long time now.
Yeah, and this is true, because all else is sleep. All else is sleep, comparing to that what you are saying. But not to make it any story out of it, or on any big project or anything what you have to do. The only thing I would focus is when you are in satsang or in meetings or something which actually is a reminder for you in this. I know the mind is the most impatient thing on this planet. It's the most impatient thing. So it has a piece, oh, it's enough, let's go further. But this is just a moment of peace, and this is just interpretation of peace. And now our role is to stay a little bit longer until the vibration of the mind is loosen its grip. So it's just giving yourself a little longer in there. And something will like to escape from the room and would like to avoid this or something, and you resist this movement. This is something which might make work. And until you abide into your experiential not knowing, just pure being. And it doesn't mean that you will not experience the mind, or you will not experience all other things, but something intuitively will not follow the mind that much. It will be less important, because this is all about, these things will be just less important, and you will naturally choose peace. You will naturally choose peace. Why? Because it's so good. It's so good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Am I speaking something close or something which is like blah 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 far away? Hmm? Hmm?
It's clear.
Very good. Great. When it's unclear, just speak it out. We want to experience freedom for everyone here and clarity. Mm-hmm. Give the mic to that.
Yeah, so I don't know really how to put this question. Okay. But for sometimes I've been like, the whole journey has been a lot about like clinging to kind of peace, like almost like an addiction. If it's not like that, then something is like,
Yeah.
I need to
Have the peace, yeah?
yeah. And I know that's not what the pointing is towards, but it's such a habit. And then instead, there's been a little bit of a like turning of like acceptance of all of this, but it also feels like I've been falling asleep actually.
Falling asleep where? What do you mean? You are
in
falling
my life in a way,
Mhm.
like actually lost presence. It feels like.
Recently you have a feeling like this?
Yeah, for some time, maybe some
Mhm.
months, half a year or something. And I really don't know. I don't know what, like, if I'm doing well or not. And so, but maybe I can put a question like when, like, I'm finding it hard to find the balance between bypassing and not making any big like deal out of it, because like you can also make like a problem out of all the things.
Mhm.
And I feel there's such a big pressure inside my body somehow, and it feels like it wants relief also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I can go. Yeah, you. I think you get. Yeah. To not make anything out of it.
Exactly.
But still, to not neglect it also.
This is something super tricky.
Yeah.
Well, there is many schools. In my school, if you go into compromise with the mind, you end up suffering. If you go in the subtle and little compromise with the mind, you will end up suffering. I know what you want to say, that you cannot neglect these things also. You cannot neglect anything. It makes no sense, because it's already an expression of consciousness. But if you give this too much, it's something, I would say, risky. Because this world, for humans, for people, is made it's made very funny. People love sense. Humans love sense. No? Like, what makes sense? What is good? What is it good to feel the body? Is it not good to feel the body? What is the right balance in all of it? Human beings love it, and the mind loves it. It's endless journey. How to find this right balance in the space and in the body? How to marry this? It's endless journey. I mean, it's true, because this is our life, and we will be experiencing directly from the inside, and we are. in this very moment we are self and we are the expression as all of it. But what the mind makes out of it is a different story. You know? What the mind makes out of it, if it's where the duality starts. You know what I mean? There is space, there is peace, which you call it, peace which is peaceful, but it's not necessarily peaceful. Peace is peaceful, but it's not only peaceful, and not necessarily peaceful. It's simpler than that. It just is. It's nothing special. It's nothing... How to say it? It just is. This is very clear and very transparent and very empty. Nothing can be made out of it. Everything what we make out of it will be mind-based creation. And there is our expression, which I say human beings love, to find the right balance. Yeah? To somehow connect female with male energy. To somehow allow for something what is allowed. This is duality. This comes duality here. I have to allow for expression, but what? Manifestation didn't allow it already? So subtly, very subtly, here he comes. Mind. You have to do something, but your only job is to see it coming and to creating the bubble. This is your only job. Nothing else. And waking up every time from that. Because this is the interpretation, or this is avoidance, actually. You know what I mean? This is something funny we create, humans. But life is much simpler than that. My life is as simple as this room and as all its expressions, as simple. And the space in which it all contains. Nothing else, nothing more. But as I said, human beings love sense, loved past lives, loves future, love interpretation of what is now. They are in love in this. And it will be always tricky for us because it will be coming. It will be coming to entertain us, to give us something to eat. But are you hungry really? Do you need this food? This food is not helping anybody. This food is just creating next experience. It's just, or either it creates the next experience or takes you away from the simplicity which is here. Empty. Free. Bubble. There is, it's nice to have a bubble or not. You like a bubble or not? A bubble. It's a bubble of mind. Yeah. So whenever it comes, whenever you see it creating something, wanting something, you are doing a life self-inquiry. In the presence, which is not imagined presence, in the peace, which is not imagined peace, but this is this very moment. The only reference point on self-inquiry is this moment. Your yesterday peace, or your knowing about peace, it's just imagination. It's just imagination, pure imagination. The only reference point is this moment. So when you, in this moment, you find something is just trying to create something, you are, and this is moving. Don't buy this movement. It calls for your attention. Look, please. This is important, maybe this is important. My last 6 months and this and this and that. Whose 6 months? Presence? Last 6 months of presence? Whose experience is that? You are speaking about the experience in presence, but not about you. You don't even exist in this way. 6 months. Where is that? You know what I mean? Creating, this is my shape. Like this. But this is seen, no? This is seen, and this is this bubble, which is perceived. By what? Not by imagination, not by imagined peace, which is far, but in this very moment. And in this very moment, something is created and something is. What is you? If you buy this, you have a lot of work. Eternal work. Don't buy it. Don't buy anything. This is not also, it's not to buy, it's just to recognize the simplicity. Right now. I mean, recognize, and not even you who recognize this, because the act of recognizing it, it's happening in something which is, no? And this is you. And the rest is least important. Rest is least important, not important at all. Just rest in this simplicity. And you know, in those moments, mind is disappointed, sad. Please, give me back my illusion. Please. I want to have it. I love it. Sometimes, I'm not saying it's you, I'm saying general now. Which wave you want to go? 6-month wave? Or wave? Or just leave it as it is? It's okay. It's expression of life. It's expression of this moment. It's okay, 100%. But you yourself notice something which is not changing. Then you are free. Livingly free, not conceptually free. It's about livingly freedom, not conceptual freedom. Conceptual freedom, forget it, it's just mind. And this is self-inquiry. This is a live self-inquiry. Every time it needs to be done, it needs to be done. And do we know something now? I know nothing. Do you know something? Yeah. So it's like beyond knowing. Not knowing is not even necessary, because knowing would be disturbance in the real knowing. So you just are. Does it make sense?
It's really hard not to make anything out of it.
Please give me something. Yeah, it's the hardest. It's the hardest things. Honestly, it's the hardest thing in this universe. Not to make something out of something, and not to follow that.
Can I ask something?
Yes. It's just a moment.
I was just wondering about like your essence, life goal or purpose, like for being here on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you guys think it will not happen?
Well,
one second. Just please follow. How do you guys think our purpose will not happen?
It will.
Anyways.
I understand.
So we want to help whom? By our knowing. You know, there is this question is very often asked, but actually, even this question comes in a way from control. This is a control question, and this is a question where we emphasize what is least important. Because the purpose, this is a purpose.
Yeah.
This moment,
I understand.
this is a purpose. This is full purpose. This expression of this moment, it's totally open, and everything, and contains everything necessary. This very moment.
I understand that.
So mind loves the future. This is what mind loves, but not this purpose. Not now. Why? Not now. Tomorrow is a very important purpose. Tomorrow. So I can avoid this moment, maybe. A little bit, no? Or after I die, or after I finish this project, or I do this. This is important. This is our mind, which is actually really directing us again into the work, into the becoming, avoiding our own enlightenment.
I totally get that. It's because I'm going through a period where I believe there's like something is getting through to me. And I'm totally got that I'm just where I want to be and everything is fine from moment to moment, and I'm not hurrying in any direction. I'm just like here and then here and then here, and it's fine. But when I'm here, I'm very overwhelmed with very, very difficult feelings. So I'm trying to like, oh, this is okay, that it's here and I'm going through it, and I'm trying not to react on the shame and the darkness and all those things. So I don't know what my question is actually, but
guys, I'm really not joking. If we will make one thing, if we learn, or if we dedicate ourselves only to one thing, to discrimination, what comes and goes, and what is not coming and going, you have everything done. Everything. You have all your questions answered, all your problems answered. It's just this one simple thing. Because all worries, all the things you are saying, which are sometimes difficult for you, they will be in the clear light of how it really is. I know that I'm going with you right the moment, your first time in satsang, but I'm going really, really deep at the moment. I'm cutting many questions you could ask on the way.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's a question. It's just like how to sometimes it's so strong that it's like I'm getting like a pill, which is like just like like I'm a little bit like you said about falling asleep. It's like I'm like like somebody gave me heroin or something. So I'm like, sometimes I need to really do like this to stay in the present moment, because it's knocking me off. And so I'm just like, is there any tip to how to stay in that, because it's so very strong, the force that's pulling me.
There is only one force in this universe. There is only one force. There is no different forces. Different forces is our imagination. There is only one force. Everything can serve us. And actually everything serves us.
Yes, and I understand that this is something that it's a gift. It's not like, I understand that it's a gift, and I believe that it's things that I need to see and things that I need to like experience and go through.
But do you feel you need something more, or do you feel you need something else? Do you feel no?
No, I
Okay.
don't feel like I need something more or something else.
Okay.
It's just a tough place to be. And
What is tough exactly? What is tough?
well, tough is when I'm not able to stay in the present moment and telling myself, or like feeling.
Okay, but what I said about this, what is eternal and what is coming and going, if you follow this, it will give you the clue, and it will solve everything.
I know
Because
it's coming and going.
But because you staying in the presence, you who sometimes, please follow me from this one, you who sometimes feels in the presence, and you who sometimes have a difficulty in staying in the presence, it's a little bit messy for me, because you show me the you who can stay in the presence. Show me the one who can stay in the presence, or show me the one who cannot stay in the presence.
That's not possible, because I'm here and I'm here,
Yes, so something is already in all circumstances, isn't it? So if you are staying in the presence, and if you are not staying in the presence, something is, isn't it?
Can you repeat?
Okay, if you are able to stay in the presence, let's say this is here, you are able to stay in the presence. You are not able to stay in the presence. But underneath both, what is?
Just my essence.
Exactly. Exactly. So only focus in there. Recognize that thing which is all the time. You being in the presence, you not being in the presence, it will be like from the mind bubble, you know? So whenever you start talking this way to yourself, or whatever you will feel bad or good about things, it will always belong to the mind. So it will never help you. So you just leave this talk. You just don't listen to your own judgments, and notice that something is underneath all. And you will not see this thing underneath all. It just is.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
But you intuitively, by knowing this, you are not buying your commentary, mind commentary about it. Because try to get rid of the mind by using the mind is not possible.
No.
So we have to just forget that this will help us.
But what I was maybe trying to ask was like, is there a trick on how to get there then?
Yes, this is
Yeah.
what I just said. I mean, it's not like you can get there, because you are there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, it will never be that you will get there. It's only recognizing that you are there.
Yeah.
But recognizing with the mind is just too little. Okay,
Yeah.
I recognize and I swallow what I recognize. I see and I stay a little bit longer. This is how I call it. I stay a little bit longer with this. So it's not only based on the mind judgment, which might be true, but it's too little to deliver out what does it really mean.
So would you say like all emotions are like bubbles? And
Of course,
yeah.
isn't it? They are bubbles. I'm not saying they are not important. I'm not saying that. They are but they are just bubbles. They are bubbles. They are as they are. I mean, everything is as it is. Objects are objects. And they will be objects until the body is alive. But something is not an object here. And something is why all objects are manifesting. All of them. And if we get in touch with this knowingly, the experience which is tough becomes immediately as it is, object. And not with the seeing of the object from the right perspective, the object is not heavy. Heaviness comes from the mind only. But it doesn't mean our life has to be always great. It doesn't mean that.
No,
It's just about attitude. The self attitude is just natural acceptance without acceptance, even, because you don't have to do this. You just don't doubt that it could be different. It is as it is. You take what it is without taking specially. It's not a special right attitude in taking what is.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I love so much talking about these things because it's so simple. And I love when people start to see how simple is that. How simple, let's say it this way. And how insane is everything else. It's really insane. It's little words to that. Insane.
I guess there must be a lot of practice in when being in the world, and
we could say it this way. We could say it this way, that this is practice. It's a practice. But if you find yourself not being such a good practitioner, if you find yourself that things are hard, it means the more practice needs to be done. But what is this practice about, you know? This practice is no practice. It's just
like letting go.
Yeah, something like that. But actively, meaning that you are not doing it only mentally, you're actually facing the reality in every second. You are not escaping facing what is. This is active, you know. You cannot stay on the concept level of that. You just, it's a living self-inquiry, what I'm saying. Living. Either living self-inquiry or suffering. This is the only choice we have. Some people are lucky that it's like bam and it's just for a while done for them, and they don't have to really do because they are shanti, all is good. But after a while, life in all expressions wants some activity from the side of human beings to really meet stuff actively like this in self-inquiry.
That's what I mean with the practice. One thing is the practice of discriminating, being attentive. But I also mean when doing it in situations, in relations with other, or in something in the world that you have to make decisions or relate to emotions or...
Yeah, but how then you practice this? How then you practice this? This practice is the same in any circumstances. It's so, this is why I like it so much, because it's not complicated
So it's
at
like
all.
being
It's just one
detached
solution.
to the mind, as well as embracing that the mind is working for me, helping me in this
Yes,
world
I mean,
situation.
it's good to understand rightly what this detachment means, you know, because people have imagination of this word detachment also. You know, because you can be detached in a way that you are, like you were saying, a little bit escaping. You know, I'm that detached that I just don't experience stuff. I can be that detached. So this is actually opposite. It's a little bit of attachment, I would say, and aversion and fear. It's actually a lot of fear. Detachment, it means you can invite everything, but you are not buying it. Everything is it can play, but you yourself are not buying it because of the ability to discriminate what is temporary and what is not. This ability to recognize inside of our own being what is temporary or is not is the most powerful tool we have.
And being with that, sitting and knowing in a situation, let's say in a relation with someone, a discussion or some practical thing, and being able to discriminate, this is coming and going, so I will not, believe in it, or but at the same time you have something you have to...
You know, how is our conversation happening now? Because we can relate, into the relationship, let's say, or into the more worldly things. When you go out and you will have conversations, and and you'll be acting also yourself. Is it possible right now for us to talk and to keep some of our focus into the self? Is it possible?
Practice.
I mean, right now, right now, right now, it's not something special we need to do. Really, look, I'm sitting, normally I'm talking with you, there is nothing specific happening, there is nothing like holding, I'm not sitting like, I'm really doing nothing. Like, do you see what I see? I'm really doing nothing. And I don't need to do anything. Same you. But I don't need to remember this thing. It's not like remembering this thing. It's just some of our beingness knows. And then I'm able to speak with you, and you are able to speak with me also. It's not like I have to have now special attitudes towards you, or special attitudes towards somebody I will meet soon. I don't have to have a special attitude. Special attitude will be again a mind creation. Always. So it's like you just bring some of your focus on this simplicity.
But you say just,
Mhm.
but having that focus can be really challenging, especially if I personally, I get, if I watch a
Yes.
movie, people can talk to me, I don't hear them. You know,
Yes.
I dive deep into especially emotional things, and
Yes, so it's like as I said, self-inquiry will, it's like with the self-inquiry, you meet a self-inquiry here. This is self-inquiry, I know. In this area, I know self-inquiry and it works. I know that I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the emotion. It's quite alright. But the self-inquiry really likes to grow. You know, it's a little hall which is just expanding, and it will expand into all the experience you will have. So in this area, and you say it's good, so this is next, welcome, and this is next, welcome, and this is next, until you will see that you are effortlessly in all circumstances, and there is nothing to worry. Really, there is nothing to worry. This body will have its reactions, and it has its conditioned reaction. So what? Just don't buy it as yourself. It's a reactive machine, this body also, but you don't have to say it as the only reality of yours. Because this is changing, and it will be changing. Don't give it too much meaning. This body, if we buy the idea that we have to suddenly become like the greatest body, the most patient, the most amazing, and most beautiful, and I don't know what else. All this beautiful. It's like a lot of work. And a lot of mind imagination, and there's a lot of projection. There is much simpler way to that. There is much simpler and free way. It's just what is.
So it's there despite personality being crazy.
Yes, so what with the personality? Whose fault is that?
Parents. No.
If we'll focus on this, we will have work, endless work. You will go for 10,000 therapies, courses, all of it, and it will be not enough. It won't be enough. It has no end. You can do a little bit of this if it helps in your expression. Why not? But just don't give it 100%. Because you'll be lost completely. You'll feel like you're progressing, but this is much simpler way. And it doesn't give you any condition. Just a simple discrimination. Who am I? What am I? Really. And it's not like we find the question, oh, I am awareness, then it's fantastic. I can sleep now. I'm awareness, it's all good. It's another concept. I don't know if I'm awareness, if I'm not awareness. It doesn't make sense to only say about it. It makes sense only to know it inside. Or rather not to know anything at all and just stay in what is. Which is much simpler, much nicer. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, what did you say about falling asleep during meditation or satsang?
Oh my God, what did I say? Uh-huh.
Because I noticed something.
You were falling asleep?
Or it's getting dizzy, or yes, but during meditation, almost like falling asleep. And I heard the word you said like maybe 1,000 times, avoidance.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, life is such an avoidance in many ways. Life is avoidance almost for most of the people. Being engaged in this is a really avoidance. And mind will do everything to avoid. So, there are many expressions of avoidance in satsang also. There are many. One of them is like you are in the guided meditation and actually you might speak with yourself all the time. You might, for instance, refer to that what you know, comparing to what you know to what I say, for instance. And you can be entertained like this for an hour and you can say, oh, okay, maybe, yeah, maybe. This might be also one way of avoidance. Very often happens the avoidance on satsang that suddenly we are so tired and suddenly we are like really not interested at all in what's happening at all. We are just entertaining with our projects. And the time it's like can be an hour. This is also avoidance. But it might be also that simple as you came today and you are just tired also and your body might be just in the moment tired and it's also okay, you know. But as I said at the beginning of this meeting, I'm not joking in this, that there is a full potential of full enlightenment and full clarity in this very moment. Really. And it's not like, I'm here, such a great teacher, came from Poland and you just give you this, they will just give you this freedom or something. Not about that. It's like about our, how to call it, readiness not to avoid. Just try it. Try it for once. It's amazing thing. It's the most amazing thing ever. To trying not to follow this avoidance, and then it will be seen how many things mind will bring to actually mislead the point. Thousands, millions, always something. It is ready with the flag always. But we might stay with not buying this flag, and not buying the flag, this is this staying and abiding in the self.
When it's like something is taken out the life from it, and then it says like, okay, it's that empty, it's like dead, or something.
It's imagination. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that, and it's not lifeless. It's only it can only this expression come when you make assumption on something which you naturally feel, but it's again too early to say. This is impatience which I'm often referring to. This impatience. I mean, you want to say it's empty or it's lifeless or something. Really check this out. Check if it's true. Because in the same time, all the expression of the whole universe is in there. Everything. Your breath right now. This body. All those bodies. This happening. This event.
Yes, but something trying to block the universe, so to speak. It wants to know it on a different way to.
Yes.
I don't know.
It wants to have a different way. Exactly. As you beautifully mentioned this. It would like to have a different way. Different way. No?
Yeah, but it's already painful, so.
What is painful?
This reality. Imagine the lifeless something wants to still feed this
Lifeless?
lifeless reality somehow, and something is already tired of it
Yes.
because already in the joy of life. But it always comes like, and maybe this is the anxiety. This is the anxiety, like staying in this lifeless reality experience. And I was like watching, like, okay, it's unmoving, it's empty, but on the way the mind wants to create it, and I was like watching, like, this is somehow, it's in the anxiety to experience life on this way, on this imagined way. Something is like in this.
Yeah. So the mind can create this picture also. It's capable to create this kind of picture also. But you see it now. So what's important when you see it, like you said right now, don't how to say it? Don't buy what you say. See it, and it's right what you say, but don't buy it too much, meaning that it's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, it is once said, enough. Enough. It comes again, enough, thank you. Enough. Because you might find yourself in the circle with this, like with anything else. Oh, this is this. Oh, why this is this? And it might, it makes sense because it's satsang. Satsang-wise, it makes sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. Zero. It's your strength and your self-inquiry, your alive self-inquiry, which is now, which when you see it this way you said, that's over. Here it comes again. I mean, it was yesterday. It's old memory coming back. Forget it. Out. Every time. It's just not buying the stories of the mind. This way, spiritual mind also. Especially the one. Not buying this. And we are not even knowing with what we stay. We don't have to. We don't have to know with what we stay. We don't have to know with what we stay or with what we understand or don't understand. We don't have to know it. It's better. We are just open in this. Just having nothing. So I don't know if somebody would like to say something in the end, or I just finish with something which calls me now. No questions for now? Okay. So close your eyes again for a moment. We might imagine ourselves that we are coming here to know something. But actually it's the opposite. We came to rest from knowing. We came to rest from any assumption and interpretation. We came to experience losing control a bit. To see that it's the most beautiful thing we can actually experience, to leave the control. If you didn't feel that yet, or you kind of felt that, let's try one more thing. I mean, really, feel yourself fully in this very moment. You don't have to go to your head so much, actually leave the head, but feel this moment without the interpretation, without the summary. And it might be doubting mind a little bit, or disturbing mind, which doesn't like to follow these kind of things. It's okay. It's very often in many cases like this. It's nothing wrong. So you don't have to control the mind right now. Leave it. But in the same time, do not listen to it. And allow yourself. Give yourself right now the opportunity not to control this moment. Really. Not to control is also not to know anything, because knowing is controlling. Don't know. Open yourself for not knowing. Give yourself this biggest gift. You don't have to know. It's okay like this. Notice that this is okay like this, not to know. Openness is here. Openness, it's not knowing. Not being mind servant and not being mind controller also. This is not knowing, and this is openness. If you don't know what losing control means. Let's try with the breath. See if you can not control your breathing for a moment. Let the body take inhalation as it wants to. Exhalation as it wants to. Experiment with this for a moment. Not controlling, not knowing where to go and how. Notice the presence in which this manifests this way. Presence which is not far from you, no distance. You're noticing it. It's also in it. It's just a confirmation of what is. So you see, in the breathing, you don't have to control, it's okay. And it's quite tasty and peaceful. Your thoughts are allowed. They can vibrate. Don't be frightened by them, but don't buy them. You are presence for them to manifest and disappear. You are the King himself. Let them pass, let them be, let them go. Just don't buy it. They need your presence to manifest. Without the presence, nothing could take place. Direct yourself to the source. Not somewhere. It's not somewhere. It's resting. And see how beautiful, how delicious, peaceful is that. Just not following the mind. Every night, this body needs this rest to live the day later. Every night, this body needs this rest to live the day. Now, you are giving yourself this biggest rest while being awake. And see if you are not resting somehow in this. You have to see it to have it clarity about it. Because you might use it later. And you might live beautiful life because of using it. Just having right perspective, nothing else. Drink from the source. And be happy and free. So, thanks you guys for satsang. Thank you very much for satsang.